So here's what's really interesting about abundance blocks. They're not mostly just abundance blocks. So your attachment to things shows you where you are still giving your power away.
Okay.
So if someone really wants to manifest something or someone or whatever, like desperately, guess what? You are giving your power away to that thing. Therefore, you do not have as much energetic leverage to manifest that thing as easily as you could in your reality if you were not giving your power away to that thing. These are some of the biggest manifestation mistakes that are secretly holding you back, even if you're doing all the right things, the visualization, the affirmations. We get really deep into it. And this is a continuation of part one. So if you have not caught part one yet, then you're going to want to do so. I will leave the link below. And then the same thing keeps happening to them. They'll keep on bypassing and bypassing and bypassing and bypassing while the same bad thing happens to them over and over and over and over again. And they think, oh, well, that's just life. That's just the way reality works. Some people, they just always cheat you. Some people, they always like trick you. They always abuse you. They always cheat on you. And then that is their lived reality. And they don't realize. And then they make statements like, well, life is just really hard for everybody. Well, all men are cheaters, right? They make these generalized statements because it makes them feel better, okay, about the fact that they don't realize how to change their quote luck or change these patterns that keep coming up. My point is you can change them. My point is you can release them. My point is that is not the way reality actually has to go for you. And I know because Gen Z, we talk about my patterns, right? That have come up. You're like, Paget, like this keeps happening. Like, why I just couldn't see like why you kept doing that. Like why you kept getting cheated by these people over and over. We're talking about the other day how why I kept getting taken advantage of by people over and over and over and
The
over.
work, and you would, yeah, like you would do the work and you would let them take the credit, an equal share of credit, like that.
So you told me that the other day when I'm dealing with this like weird situation with this company who's not very good, but that's for another day, possibly to talk about. Um, you told me that you're like you keep on like something, you'll build something, you'll do something, and then
Don't
people come.
hate. Okay.
What?
Paget's followers don't send the sister hate. This is just
Why would they send you hate?
I don't
But
know.
you'll build something and you do something, right? And then people will come in and take advantage or latch on.
I just hated seeing, I didn't understand why you needed to partner with different people from a business perspective who you did partner with in the past on different projects. When you were the talent, I could see you were driving all the creativity, all the insight, and all the hard work that goes behind making something happen. And yet you felt like you needed to partner or take these different people's input into consideration when you were doing the work.
Okay, so just as an example, right? We were talking about this, and guess what? As we were talking about this the other day, because like you saw it kind of happening again, I was very triggered, right? Like you were telling me, and I was like, Jency, like you're not really helping me because like I was in my reactive zone, but what was happening is I was getting triggered. Okay, so I wanted to like yell at you or say, hey, stop, blah, blah, blah. But I was just like, okay, this wouldn't be triggering me if this wasn't an issue in me, right? Purely, like straight up. So then I actually, without you real, I was actually just sitting there, and I remember we're in your living room, and I just sat there, and I could just feel like how uncomfortable it was, and like how there was truth in what you were saying, even though I wanted to argue with you. And then I was just saying, why does this energy have power over me? If I was that powerful, this energy that she triggered or brought up in me would just simply not have power in me. It would not have any power. It would just not be true. It would not resonate. It would not resonate. There would be no Velcro for it to attach to. But there was Velcro for it to attach to because it really, really bothered me. And so I just sat with it, right? And that was part of my process of seeing through the illusion of the power that that trigger had over me. And when you're able to actually do that, right? As opposed to run away and be like, I don't want to feel anything. Shut up. I don't want to feel it, right? Then what you're actually stating to the universe is that you're more powerful than it. So
So the
you have energetic leverage over that now. Does that make sense?
It does. And so that is what you should do rather than bypass and try to elevate yourself and be like, that's not a big deal.
Yep.
You're
I see this in the spiritual. Oh my God. Holy moly. I see this a lot with people who are spiritual and they're like really positive, all like, right. Do you know what I mean? And I love that, guys. Like, I love being around people who are super positive in the spiritual world. I'm like, fuck yes, because I need a little bit more of that. right? But then I also know that there's another side to that, which is like, but are you bypassing
What's the
something?
difference in bypassing? That sounds pretty pleasant to me, like not having to feel it, because even if it forces you to experience the same thing and the universe will give you the same lesson to learn, if you never feel it, then you just don't feel it. So what's the problem with that?
That's fine. I'm not arguing with that. Like that's fine. If people want to go, like that's what I'm saying. This work is not for everybody. It simply is not for everybody. But I have just seen because I've been connected to those people at a personal level, not at a client level, but at a personal level, I've been connected to those people, and so let's say they have issues with their relationships. They keep on attracting people who do not want to commit to them, and every single time they're like, "Oh, whatever. Like I guess it's their problem, or whatever, whatever. Oh, whatever. I guess it's their problem."
Okay.
And they never meet the one, which is actually strangely their obsession. So let's say their number one priority is meeting the one, but they keep on bypassing like why the person they're with never wants to commit to them. Guess what? That's going to be their lived reality. So yeah, they can say, "Oh, this is fine. Oh, this is fine. Oh, this is fine. Oh, this is fine." But
Mhm.
like how long do you want to do that before at some point you're like, "No, I actually just want to like meet someone."
Got it. So it's a limit. So if you keep bypassing, it limits your ability to manifest the reality that you want. That's true.
If that block is blocking you from manifesting the thing that you want. Yes.
Great. Okay. So personal question. So I know that that is a big thing in the love space, but there are also people who experience so my relationship reality was different from yours. I got into relationships pretty quickly and they committed pretty fast. Like that's just kind of the cycle. And then I would kick them either at 3 months or 6 months, is like, I'm done with you, you know? And I would let them go. And there wasn't that much blowback, but I still didn't meet same, different edge of the same coin. I didn't meet my person. So what was it? What was the shift? Because you said a big shift has to come with your clients too, and you can share stories about that before you can energetically shift into the paradigm that will allow you to manifest the thing that you say you want. Because relationships were important to me. They were always important to me. I always wanted to meet the person. So what was that shift? Because it wasn't.
So So when I actually see you, there's a little part of you that gave up something
Mhm. Okay.
before you met Zach, whether you are conscious of it or not. There's a little part of you that kind of gave up. So some people might be like, oh, it's all of a sudden when I didn't really care. I wasn't as fixated on it. And it was just kind of like, whatever, right? That all of a sudden I met the person.
Yeah.
There's a reason why that happens. And I feel like it actually happened to you, whether you're conscious of it or not. You weren't as obsessed about it. You might even think, oh, I've kind of given up a little bit inside, or I'm just not as like fixated on it and I moved on to other
Right.
things.
Right.
Because all of a sudden get like, so your attachment to things shows you where you are still giving your power away.
Okay.
So if someone really wants to manifest something or someone or whatever, like desperately, guess what? You are giving your power away to that thing. Therefore, you do not have as much energetic leverage to manifest that thing as easily as you could in your reality if you were not giving your power away to that thing. Okay. So for you, when you kind of like gave it like, okay, I guess I'll just focus on other things. I'll try to be I'll try to like, work on myself and be a little bit happier in like what I have or whatever it is. And you weren't really expecting it. You were in that state of detachment, meaning you were no longer now ceding your power to that thing as much. So
Mhm.
guess what? When you're not doing that, I mean, so actually when I just look at you, your energy actually naturally relaxes and kind of opens up a little bit to seeing things differently. Okay.
Mhm.
Because like before this, I think you were kind of seeing things very from your head because you were trying to manifest from your head. So it's like, so it would meet someone's like, ew, not that, ew, not that, ew, no, gross. Right? It's like, X. Do you know what I mean? Or
I
like,
was
yes, yes, or maybe. And then it would just be like, yeah, but you're totally blind to all the other shit that they have. Right? But you are more in this detached space of like, okay, well, like whatever, whatever. Okay. And then so when you were able to meet him, you were just feeling you were actually able to open yourself up to that connection in a different way, in a more vulnerable way, in a more real and authentic way than before.
By the way, I met him 3 years earlier. We dated for a month
Yeah,
and
exactly. Exactly.
off each other's plate. But okay, so interesting. So you have clients who come to you, right, specifically for like love, I imagine, because relationships are incredibly important. Um, so what would you say like what's an example of manifesting once you shift your paradigm, release like blocks and stuff in the love space? You know?
Okay, so yeah, I have like a couple of like they're a little bit more extreme examples, okay, because it's not always going to happen this way. But one example was someone who came and we started working together, and she had some blocks when it came to like really being open with her. She was a very naturally very sensual woman, but she had a lot of like shame attached to her sensuality and her sexuality and all that stuff. So she was always kind of like hiding herself. And she was also really talented singer, but like again, this like shame around her essence kind of clouded it. And she was dating all these people. She kept going on all these dates. She was like on all the apps. And she's like, you know what? I think it's because of where I live. I've like literally met every single person there is to meet here. And I think it's because of where I live, because I'm like in a small town, blah, blah, blah. And then as we worked on releasing the shame, okay, releasing also some other patterns like that she took on from her aunt and her grandma and things like that, right? And so she came more into that energetic alignment of like being more open with herself, being more okay with being seen, being more comfortable in her sensuality and her sexuality. She ends up meeting the person that she's now married to within 3 months. Right. She's now married to that I saw on Instagram. But like in within 3 months, and she met and the person was always there the entire time, was in that small town with her the entire time. And she thought that she needed to move out of that town in order to meet the one. She thought it was her town.
Uh-huh.
No. She was actually given everything she needed in order to meet the person.
So they'll be invisible to you.
Yes, they will. This is what I'm saying. And people like what you desire could literally be right in front of you. The opportunity to make ridiculous levels of abundance, the love of your life could literally be next door, okay, floating in the air around you. But because you are distorted in your perception of reality and self, you will literally not see it. You will not believe it. You will not see it. You will shut it down.
So, question though, that's a very specific thing she wanted to manifest, right? Like she wanted to meet the love of her life. Is that
Well,
right?
no. See, this is also what was interesting is she came into my world because she just wanted to manifest out of being stuck.
Just
And love was just one of them.
okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard, human design. I don't know anything about that, human design, but I've heard there are people who are specific manifestors and non-specific manifestors. And is there a truth in one over the other, or does it actually depend on the person? Like when you tap into how people create their realities, what is the truth of how we're supposed to manifest and how it works?
Yeah. So this is a really good question because I was talking to someone. This is more of my personal life, and I don't really want to reveal. But he was like, "No, I'm not meant to do those things because like I'm a projector, right? Us projectors. So I'm not. I don't know everything about manifestation. What is it called? The human design. I don't know everything about it. I think it's helpful for sure. I just don't know. He's like, I'm a projector. I'm not supposed to do this shit. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to touch any of that. Other people are supposed to do it for me. And when I was like, smiling and like, I was like, come on, right? Like, this is just your fear of being seen. This is just your fear of failure. This is just your fear of success. This is all those fears and now you're using human design as an excuse to not learn how to do something extremely basic and extremely simple because someone else needs to do that for you. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't love focusing on those things in the beginning because it actually becomes a way for us to bypass clearing our channels, bypass releasing our fears, bypass releasing our patterns. We hide behind, well, human design told me this and that and that. It's like, yes, at a higher level, when you get to those higher levels, guys, like this is where all those things can like help you let's say get over some little bits of confusion at a much higher level. But if you ain't at that level, it's not really, you're gonna probably use it as an excuse.
Okay, interesting. So what you're kind of saying is from a manifestation perspective, I'm not familiar with human design. I've heard of it. I
I'm
just
not that familiar either.
don't have the time to get into it. I only have the time for so much spiritual work. But so what you're
Genesee.
well, it's true because we all work, right? We all have stuff we have to do. Okay, so basically from a manifestation perspective, I know that there's specific and non-specific manifestors according to human design and other things, philosophies. And so you're saying at higher levels though, but everyone is both, right? Is that true? So we can manifest specific things we want Like someone can say specifically, I want a house. They can be
Oh, I
White
see what
House
you're
in
saying.
Hamptons, like this and this, or just generally, I want the feeling that that would give me. But
Ah, I
yeah.
see what you're saying. You know what? When you ask me that general question, I don't get like a really specific algorithmic answer to it. If someone asks me specifically, like, am I this? Am I better at this? I'm better, I'll be able to read it specifically for them. But like when you ask me that generally, it's like, well, you should already like, does it matter? Like
Right. It doesn't.
kind of is my point, right? What feels better to you? Like what literally because there is because I don't use those things, it like I don't see it that way. But so I would just ask the question back to the person, what feels more energizing to you? Personally, I don't manifest in that way because I believe my higher self always has something better that I am not seeing.
Okay, interesting. So it's not in conflict with that. It's just a different way of looking at getting to where you want to go. That
Yes. I guess so. Like whatever's working for you. If you're confused, if you're like, "Oh my God, well, I don't know like which one to do." Probably not the right question you're asking.
Okay, interesting. Got it. So, okay, so back to manifesting, elevating your frequency and luck. When you release certain distortions and you shift your reality and you are able to get the things you want a little bit easier with the same amount of work as before, luck is something that kind of falls in naturally with that, right? So you would say that this energetic work is sort of the catch-all for everything.
Look, not everyone has to live their lives the way I live my life. Personally, I mean, clearly this is what I do, so this is my obsession. If I was not doing this with other people or teaching it, I'd still be obsessed with it, right? So, yes, that is truly how I frame and look at everything in reality. So, even when I hear someone give a mindset tip or I hear someone do that, I'm always looking at what are the energetics behind it. Not
Okay.
just like, oh, mindset. It's like, no, no, no. There's something else that they're using behind that that makes it work for them. Right.
Okay.
And so I'm always interested in asking that deeper layer question. But here's the thing, if it works for you and it feels good and it feels fulfilling and it feels turned on, and you're like, yes, I love this thing that I'm doing, use it.
Okay.
Right? For me, for some reason, that stuff doesn't really turn me on and it doesn't seem to work um, as well. Okay. But that does not mean it can't work for everybody. I am so open to it being like something that some people have to figure out kind of on their own to some degree in terms of like what combination of things work good for them.
Okay. So I would say other than love, the other big thing that like people want is abundance. And when they say that, they really just mean like money and security. I mean, let's be honest, it's just crass to say that. So, um, you, I know you are kind of a success story, right? Like, didn't you go from like, I don't want to call you out, but not making very much money to like seven figures?
I am so used to telling that story now because even I'm just like, like the me 3 years ago is like, the heck did you do? Right? Like you didn't, I literally couldn't have imagined going a year making 40K. Like I just, that was my goal is making 40K a year. Like that was my goal because at the time I was making on average about $2,000. And I was like 40K would take, and I would literally do this itemized things. Tell me like, I don't know if you do it or if other people do it. Like, you know how you itemize, oh, I can then purchase this a month and I can then purchase that and afford that. You don't do that. Okay. Anyone who like relates to this, like tell me, because I used to do that. I'm like, oh, then that means I would be able to purchase this every month and then that and then that. Right. And I was like, 40K would be amazing. That's all I need. That is all I need. And then, I just focused on becoming a match to a higher version of reality, higher version of myself. And then, yeah, the opportunity kind of just drops on, like everything changed within me first. And the opportunity just kind of like came into my field. Right. And then I was able to make, in my first business without any business or marketing background, seven figures in 15 months of starting the business, 18 months between making 2K to that seven figures.
Okay, well, that's amazing and clear that it works for you. But do you have any other like success stories where they've experienced the same kind of like record jumps in abundance and just fulfillment?
I mean, there's several people, right? So here's what's really interesting about abundance blocks. They're not mostly just abundance blocks. They're actually blocks in more general ways that then impact your ability to create abundance. So for instance, I'll talk about an old client of mine. She came and she wanted to work with me, and she literally told me on a call, she was like, if this doesn't work, I am literally giving up because I have tried everything. So if this doesn't work, I'm giving up. And she was a little bit grumpy. And I was like, okay, cool. Right. And then as we worked, she was very closed off. She was working in corporate, very closed off, felt like she was not getting any acknowledgement, felt like, in this male dominated world, like everyone else was like getting ahead and they were kind of like dismissing her and they weren't listening to her. And then what we did is we released a lot of, first of all, a lot of her mom's patterns and like just patterns that were just making her feel older than she actually was. She was like 40 something, but when I looked at her, it looked like she was like, I don't know, 60 or whatever. So we released some of those patterns, which was like draining her energy. And that's not very magnetic, right? That's not very vibrant. And then I remember this specific session. I wonder if anyone's listening to this who's in this session, where she was like, I want to be able to speak up in these meetings and actually be heard. And so we did a specific thing for her, which was help her actually speak more from her like how do I say it? Like the her pelvic floor, because before she was kind of just speaking from here. And
Not
so we
like
actually what?
root chakra or something. I've heard you say that
Oh, the
before.
yeah, yeah, the root, yeah. And we helped her actually energetically do that. And then
Mhm.
I remember her coming to me like, I don't know, a couple months later or something like that and being like, "Oh yeah, I just got promoted to CEO." And like she went from I want to quit my job because I am not getting acknowledged or recognized because it's a male dominated corp like environment to, oh, they promoted me to CEO. And then she was like, I guess it worked. And then I never heard from her again.
Hey, interesting. That brings up an interesting question. So, when these people start working with you, like, do they have to work with you forever to keep having nice things in their life? Is it something they can't get off of, like Ozempic, right? Like,
Oh my God, you just went there.
I'm not a user, but I've heard you can't get off of it. Otherwise, like the results don't stay. But is that what it's like for this work? Or when you get to a certain level, because you said that she went away and you haven't heard from her again because she's half.
Exactly. I haven't heard from her again. And I don't think I necessarily, yeah. So the thing is absolutely not. First of all, absolutely not. This is not work where I don't like where you need to become dependent on me to work on you and like see all the patterns and like help you release them and stuff like that. No, because actually at a certain point, you start to do this yourself. Okay. So like people who tend to work with me. So for instance, like we're now closer and we talk a lot. You're noticing that you're releasing stuff yourself and you're realizing stuff yourself. Okay. Like once you actually get some level of energetic momentum and release enough of your crap fast enough, your higher self actually can take over. And like, yeah, having a tune up here and there from someone else, whatever. But like your higher self will actually take over and your higher self will go, oh shit, okay, I understand this process. And it'll start actually awakening you like on its own, if that makes sense.
Well, it does. I will say for me, I don't. You'll point out things, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah," but I actually don't feel it consciously. It's like, "Ooh, I feel the sensation in my body," and then it's like gone. Like I don't say that's low
It
self-worth.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You
Okay.
don't need to call out what the thing is. You don't even need to know intellectually what the thing is you're releasing in order for it to release. Like this is not a mental game.
And you know what I noticed is like you're kind of different from like I haven't really done a lot of the stuff because it seems expensive and it seems very time consuming, but you're different from, some people who I've listened to their free stuff because you don't seem like people can do stuff and then you don't seem like you encourage them to rely on you, which is a little bit different. It's like,
Also, because the thing is, if I encourage people to rely on me all the time, then I'm essentially actually disempowering them. Yes, I encourage them to work with me in the beginning because I'm like, yeah, this work is gonna blow your freaking socks off, and it's like unlike anything you've ever done before. But once you awaken and you get enough energetic momentum, at some point, like, so you basically use me as a tool, right? You're like using, like, I'm here and you're using me as a tool, you're using me as a tool, but at some point you have to break off. Okay. Like, I don't
yeah.
know when that point is for you. Like, maybe for someone, like, I'm not going to name her name. She was like, okay, here. Right. And then for some people, it's like, okay, here. Okay. Okay. Right. Do you know what I mean? But at some point, you have to break off because otherwise, you start to cede your power to me
That's not good.
Right. Like I'm not going to take it, but
Still not good.
it's still not good that if you want to cede your power to me,
Okay,
if that makes
interesting.
sense.
Yes, it does. So I have a couple of like I have a personal testimonial to share. So yeah, we didn't talk for a long time. I actually was so mad at you. I thought what you did was terrible. But
Okay, well, you can
I
you can
will
share
say,
you can share from your perspective, and this is going to be a family moment.
just I know you felt like I hadn't been there for you, but I actually felt like, and I understand the energetics of it now, why it didn't feel like that to you. But physically, I felt like I was there for you. I met the guys you dated. I told you the truth about them, which you didn't want to hear. And I felt like I was very protective of you, but I don't think you needed that because it came from a place of, yeah, I think I kind of, it was from a place of condescension. Um,
Yeah, like I'm not strong enough to be, but you didn't know that. But the thing
no,
is,
I
you didn't
didn't
know
know
that
that.
consciously.
No, and so it
I
was
didn't,
very hurtful when we did go through the break. But anyway, back to us. I never thought we would really become close again. But I think what kind of sparked it was, to be honest, like what I saw that you were able to do for my kids. Like we won't go into their things, but just there's just a huge difference in how, close and warm I feel like our relationship is. The openness that they both have actually, and they feel more comfortable, I feel like, in themselves, both of them, not just one. And it was after you had worked on them. So I will just put that out there that like I'm naturally a skeptical person. Um, she can read that, right? But it was after that I was like, wow, there's something here. And I understand now at kind of a different level why you had to do what you had to do. And bonus, I think it's kind of, helped our whole family. Like I don't want to get into it. I'm not comfortable with that. But yeah, so
yeah, I mean, and you know what's really cool about this? Like, so here's what I'll say is that like I knew that when I separated from the family for, because as I was going on this journey, because too many patterns and stuff. But like in what's really cool though about like you actually now doing this work is this is how it works generationally or within a family. Because people always ask, well, when I do this work, is it going to help my family and stuff? Like, yes, when you gain enough energetic momentum. Now, here's the thing, you now doing this work and you actually awakening at a high level and at a high speed, it's helping me as well.
oh
Okay.
really?
Because now, like if you think about it like a sleigh ride. Okay, whatever. Okay, it does sleigh ride, but do you know what I mean? Like there's like Rudolph over here, and then there's other deer who are here. Okay, so if you think about a family as like all connected in an interweb, like that, let's say, right? And then someone's going like this, but then these people are not going quite as fast, and it's kind of like, oh, okay. Okay. Then all of a sudden you add another person who goes up here, and both people are actually pulling the reins. What does that do? It actually makes it a lot faster. So it actually is in my best interest that you do awaken, but I can't do that for you. I'm not going to force you into it. I didn't force you into it, right? I didn't say, "Hey, Genesis, you got to do this," right? And I'm not, doing that with any other people in the family, right? But then you help the whole thing, and including myself.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't honestly, it was what happened with the girl. Like I was a little curious, but it was really the momentum because I saw what you did for the girls. It's just like they're just so different. Because I'm a skeptical person and it sounds crazy, not gonna lie.
See, this is so funny too. What's really cool is like, because like people who do like spirituality in general, not just my work, spirituality in general, right? You guys like understand like how your family is like, the fuck you doing? You're weirdo, like you're a weirdo, right? And then you're like, when is it gonna pay out? When are they gonna see me for me? Right? Do you know what I mean? But like when that happens is when you awaken enough to not need them to see you in that. And like, how many years has it been since I've been like crazy about manifestation, spirituality, and energy? Okay. And then, like, part of the family going, okay, yeah, we accept that. Years, right?
Yep, it's been years.
Because before you guys are like, why are you wasting your time? Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, it felt like weird. Weird. want to get into. It was just weird. But yeah, no, it's really cool. Okay, so I'm gonna be selfish and ask you, I don't know if I want this to be out there, to read on me. How can I speed up my momentum? Because I think I told you I don't feel boundaries around me because I've had some pretty intense things I've gone through that have broken through boundaries, like
It's
personal.
on it. So I'm gonna just say, I don't know if I said this to you before. I'm just gonna say the fear of your power. Like you're
That's
actually scared of gaining more. So do you remember we're in there early on in the conversation when I
mm,
was saying like you actually have this ability to go like this and this and this and this and this and gain a lot of momentum. And it's like I see this Kate Spade thing frequency a little bit in you. So I don't know that much about Kate Spade, but for some reason people just come to me.
she
And
committed suicide.
right, because she rose so quickly, right? And then but she wasn't stable. And then so whatever happened happened to her. Okay. So I see that similar kind of pattern in you that there is this fear of going too high too quickly and then destroying yourself on some level. So that is actually part of the fear of your power. So that's why you would actually slow yourself down or hold yourself back from, let's say, putting your all into something. So do you notice how like you have a lot of potential to do stuff, like you're talented in a lot of different ways, but you aren't like picking on like you aren't willing like yeah you'll be like yeah but I really tried and I'm like I am showing up and I'm like doing it but it's like you won't really actually put your all into something like you have this thing where you literally it's like a safety mechanism you literally go okay I'm gonna put my all this much and then like the rest is just gonna disconnect emotionally and disconnect mentally and just go like okay well then that's there. Oh my God, that is so funny.
It's
Well,
me, my higher self, shutting off your camera because I don't want to hear it. Well,
wait,
you
hold
know,
on. Let me go.
well, I would say that that's probably the thing that blocks most people, right? Isn't that what we say? It's taking care of their
Not
power.
really. No.
Okay.
Not from my experience working with people. That's not, I mean, you know, people who I've worked with before, like tell me if I've ever said that to you because I'm pretty sure I haven't said that to anyone else.
Okay, well, I don't really know how to fix that, but that is helpful. I will keep that in mind and try to step into, but that's, I just think I'm like a little different because like I don't feel the fear of being seen. Like I don't have a problem.
It's yeah, it's not that. It's like you really stepping on, it's like you going all in on something.
Okay.
Okay. And then like feeling the power of what it actually would feel like to go all in on yourself. Right. That's also another part is that again, it's like you can go all in on other people. Notice how you can go all in for other people. Like you're here on this call with me, and this is you like showing up, and because you actually thought it'd be a really good idea. And I thought it was going to be a really good idea too, because you asked really good questions. But it's like, are you willing to go all in on yourself, right? To that next level. And I know you can't understand that right now. But as you go more into on this journey, like as you release more of that stuff, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Even after this conversation, you might have some grief come up and some other things come up where you held yourself back in favor of other people or in favor of this or in favor of that or whatever it is. And you might go, fuck, that's so sad. But you have to then realize as you realize that you did it for a reason and you did it actually for yourself because you didn't want to have to go all the way in on you because you were scared that it was almost like you were too powerful that you would end up destroying yourself on some level.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like weird backhanded nice thing to hear too, that I think I have
Well, I
power.
mean, okay, if you want to take that, like, I mean, I don't, I don't
I'll take
want
it as
that
a
fear, but
take it as
you
something
know,
positive. But well, I don't know how to take that because it's like it sounds really weird.
it does sound weird. I didn't just make that shit up. I don't know.
I
But
know.
that's why I kept saying Kate Spade to you. Remember, like the other,
Oh, because
I don't
she.
know why. Like, why do I keep on thinking about Kate? I don't know why I keep on thinking about because I don't really know anything about Kate Spade. But I'm like, there's something like I kept on seeing the name and the logo and stuff, and it's because of this pattern.
Okay, well, I don't want to commit suicide. I'll just put that out there. So,
I know that you wouldn't. I'm just
um,
saying you would get so disoriented and be like, wow, none of this means anything. Like you literally just be like, oh, this doesn't even, oh, doesn't mean it. Like, what's the point?
yeah, so maybe I have to have kids as like a grounding mechanism,
It is
even
actually true that having kids really helps you ground into this reality.
enough about me.
You're not
But I
even.
do see the value of what you do, and I actually really do enjoy seeing people kind of reach their potential. I know it sounds really weird, but I'm sure there's
I know
some
you
benefits
do. I know you
associated.
do. Because actually, PS guys, if Genesee ends up coaching, I would not be surprised. Because
No,
okay, fine, whatever. I know you're like shutting off from that idea, but anyway, whatever.
let's end it on something that people can take away, something actionable they can take away. Of course, like I want to say, just listen to Paget's free stuff if you feel the skepticism, because if she hadn't done what she did for, my kids, I got you. I'd feel the same way. But there's something here, and I'm in it too, and I will give it to you to say like what you would recommend people do to see if this resonates with them.
I mean, I have so much free stuff. Like, and the thing is, the people who end up working with me anyway, they don't give me logical reasons why they're working with me. They're like, I don't know. Like, the number of times I heard people say, I literally just took a leap of faith and I don't even know what this is. And I'm like, did you read? Did you read? Did you read? Because I can't explain it unless someone experiences it. I can say all the wordy words and I have tried, trust me, I have tried and it does not matter. It's like people have to actually experience it. So I truly believe that if people feel called to the work or to even just work deeper with me, they'll just know it's not a logical thing. Wait a
Stuff not
second, but you actually it was a logical thing for you because
but
you
logical. It's because
okay.
I had to see what, like I was
Okay.
curious about it, but I had to see how our one of our daughters shifted, and then you worked on the other one and she shifted, and they're so much more like authentic and connected. Like that's how I would say they're true to who they are. They don't play small, and they just feel like they're connected to us, like in a connected to the world.
Yes, that's nice.
Yeah, it is really nice. So thank you. That's priceless.
Awesome. Well, thank you. This was a cool conversation. Guys, if you want us to have more conversations, Genesee can also be a hard ass too and ask me like hard questions. But if you like this conversation, she's asking me questions all the time anyway. I was like, why don't we just record it? Because it would actually be interesting for people, some people. If you want us to continue having these conversations, we can even take questions that you guys have asked me, like on my Instagrams. And then she can ask them and ask clarifying questions, which she's always good at doing. So comment below if you have any questions, if you want to see more of these. And yeah, I will see you guys all later.